Our next guest is set to make his bare knuckle FC debut against Mike Perry at BKFC 41 on April 29th, which is the 30th in Australia and New Zealand. A man who's done it all in MMA, becoming the Strikeforce and UFC middleweight champion. The one and only, one of our favorite people to speak to, Luke Rockhold. Welcome back to Submission Rating, man. How are you?
I'm good. Adjusting to the air up here in Colorado. It's elevation, baby. Back to it.
I know. You got the beanie happening. It's a bit chilly, right?
Yeah. Up here visiting Boulder, Colorado for the day. Get the Sunday experience and then get back to work tomorrow.
Nice, man. All right. So, Luke, when researching this interview, this chat, of course, we did the usual process, glossing over facts and stuff. We checked out your socials, which led us to a link in your bio that turned out to be your Onlyfans. What's going on? When did this happen? And why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you send us a free subscription?
Yeah, OnlyFans incentivized me to start and to do some things. And, it's just where I put some of my more detailed content, more for the journey of the fight game.
So they hit you up. They were like, hey, why don't you do an OnlyFans?
Yeah. Yeah, the OnlyFans is trying to clean up their image and change the game a little bit. And so, I put up my training techniques and my diet, cooking experiences, and my tips of the trade to get healthy, and get on the game and follow the journey if you're into it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, cool. Because the OnlyFans that I typically subscribe to, I'm going to be honest, people aren't giving away cooking recipes or fight footage. So for all the female listeners in our audience, or anyone really, which of course we have such a huge female demographic, do they still see the typical OnlyFans content? I saw one where you're like, tip $25 to see what's under the shorts.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't do that stuff. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, good. Had to clarify. And hey, listen, respect to anybody who's hustling. Out of curiosity, is it a good revenue stream, man? I know you just started, I think, in March, but what's the dough like on OnlyFans these days?
Doesn't suck.
So you think there's a potential there for a couple of guys in their beanies from Australia to make some money through OnlyFans, Luke? Or do you see any potential in us?
Yeah, got a real chance.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. All right, man. So, gotta ask, dude, how does it feel to know you're in Denver right now? You're 2 weeks away from making your bare knuckle debut. I wonder, dude. Like, I know you've been studying a lot of like bare knuckle and really trying to, wrap your head around it. How does it feel? And like, how do you prepare for something like this where you're really going into sort of the unknowns and you can't really feel what it's going to be like until the night itself?
It's fun. It's interesting. It's different. It's what I need. It's what we all need. People stay in their lane too much. You got to fucking test yourself and you got to put shit on the line and then you figure out who the fuck you really are. So I enjoy it, the process of figuring out who I am.
Well, dude, you had that incredibly heartfelt and emotional moment in the cage after your fight with Costa, UFC 278. That really hit us in the feels. We were really like emotional when we saw that one. But, you spoke about how you felt at that moment you were too old and you left everything in the octagon. I wonder, man, now that you're sitting up there in Colorado, what's the difference about that moment and, kind of this moment and probably the moment in a couple of weeks when you step in there in mentality and the way that you're feeling?
I went through a lot. It took 3 years off and I didn't do anything but really just, COVID and just enjoying life way too much. And so the journey coming back to that fight was a lot, and that's mixed martial arts. And there's a lot more entails a lot more on your body, wrestling and different things. So I was wear and tear. So getting into the fight and then going into altitude, there's a lot of things that just made me obviously question what I was doing. But since then, I've enjoyed the journey and the process of bettering myself and not really, all that time off just kind of healed me up and fired me up to keep going and get better. And I feel like I am getting better. And fighting may have took my legs, but when you take something away, you gain something more. And I feel like my hands have grown so much, and I'm about ready to light this kid up and show people what I'm made of.
So is that how bad it is? Because I know we always spoke about like the shins and like the leg injuries and stuff like that. So is that one of those things where like you felt like your legs are at a point where, you know, you can't do 100% in terms of like MMA, or like if you were to do kickboxing or something like that?
Yeah, my body just needed a change and a break. My left leg, I had 2 surgeries after the fight.
Oh, wow.
Current and previous things. And so ill-informed or whatever, I don't know. But, you know, it's just time. Time is needed, and change is needed. Bare Knuckles got deep pockets. They pay us what we're worth, and it's interesting. It's different. It's Mike Perry. He fires me up. There's a lot of fucking, a lot of handcuffs and not a lot of interesting opponents in the UFC.
I know, like, you and Jason Perillo have obviously been boxing for a while. Take us into the process. Like, how did this bare knuckle thing come around? Like, I imagine maybe you were preparing maybe for a boxing match, but what was it that kind of locked you in? And when you're talking about the money, are we talking about maybe even more money that you were making in the UFC? Because I saw the money that Anthony Pettis made boxing Roy Jones Jr., and it wasn't too bad.
It was okay. Mine's better.
Well, how would the money in BKFC compare to the UFC?
Mine's better.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, they approached me. They gave me an offer. They gave me an opponent, and I liked it. And it's something different, you know what I mean? I'm not locked into a long-term deal, and it's a fun fight that puts me, you know, go out there and show my worth. That's what I want. I want to go out there and show my worth one fight at a time, and keep improving and keep bettering myself, and not getting locked into anything that's gonna kill the momentum of what I want.
Okay. What do you want? What's sort of the ultimate goal? It sounds like you've got sort of like a bit of a future plan.
I want to beat Mike Perry. I want to put this kid fucking face down, ass up, and then I want to experience what I want next. What the next offer is. You know, I'm not locking myself into anything. I'm just playing it one fight at a time, like I should, and like people should.
Yeah, well, it's an exciting time in a lot of ways to be out of the UFC, right? Because I remember, like, back in the day, like not even that long ago, when you spoke to us, it's kind of like, all right, you know, where's he going to go next? Because back then it was like Bellator, UFC, maybe One, Ryzen, something like that. Now you got boxing matches with legends. You've got bare knuckle boxing. You've got the opportunity to travel the world, make good money, fight interesting fights. Like, in a way, in your mind, is it the silver lining here, the timing of this whole thing? Like, you being out of contract at this very moment?
It's good time to be free, man. I'm an entertainer, and I just want the most entertaining fights for myself and for the fans, with a fucking nice paycheck at the end of it all. So, one at a time. We're going to go execute the game plan on this kid. I think it's a perfect stylistic matchup. I think I'm going to turn a lot of heads and open a lot of eyes, and have some fun.
I know you've been studying a lot of guys who sort of transitioned and you know, have had success. You even reached out to Alan Belcher, which is kind of crazy because you guys both used to be UFC middleweights. Now he's the heavyweight champion in BKFC. What was that chat like?
It was good. Alan and I think was mutual respect for years, and I just wanted to get a little insight on what is bare knuckle fighting, because it's definitely different, and there's a lot to try to understand and how to approach it. So it's always good to gather as much information as possible. People it's not smart to go at things blind in life.
Yeah. Well, what did he say to you, and like what is the advice going in there? Because like Mike Perry, he was able to beat MVP, and then we saw, you know, Artem Lobov was successful as well. You've seen people be able to outbox more technically maybe and more skilled boxers in there because it's a completely different sort of situation. So what was his advice? And I guess, like, how do you approach it?
To just be precise. Be precise. Boxing is a game for pussies a lot of the time. You know, bare knuckle is different. Changes, shows you don't have big fucking catcher's mitts, and you can't, you're not getting hit with these big pads and dumbing down the sport. You know, you have to execute and you have to hit and you have to kill. So just don't aim for the top of the head. Aim for the neck, aim for the face, aim for the chin.
What have you thought of Mike Perry and just some of the success he's had in BKFC so far? What have you learned about him from studying his fights? And I wonder, do you see him differently now than you would have, say, if he, was just still in the UFC?
I mean, I think he's looking better.
Mm.
I think this is more favorable to him, his style, I guess. It works for him, but it's about to come to an end. I just don't see his style. I think he's hungry. He's a dog, and he comes forward and he can take big shots and he can deliver, and he's a ruthless little fuck, and I love it. That's why I took.
Were you surprised that he beat Michael Page?
What?
Were you surprised that he beat Michael Venom Page?
Not that much. Michael Venom Page doesn't have a good style for bare knuckle boxing. He's tight quarters and he's hands down and he's all over the place. Works in a bigger space with kicks and all that shit, but it was a good fight. Mike showed a lot of himself and made me respect him more, and made me respect this fight more.
Yeah, well, 100%. I mean, speaking of respect, nothing declines your respect faster than having a whole bunch of bushy-ass nose hair and hairs sticking out. That's why we're calling all men to mind your manholes. Our good friends at Manscaped are taking care of you with their brand new Weed Whacker 2.0 with the improved blades and motor. You can feel the power of the nasty nose hair annihilation in the palm of your hands. The improved Weed Whacker can now be found in the Performance Package 4.0. Get this, for no extra cost. The Performance Package 4.0 is the best value for money. Comes with all the good stuff. The Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker 2.0, all the great shampoos and conditioners and everything to make you smell phenomenal and be the best version of yourself. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. Hey, listen, we got a lot of great, female fans here on Submission Radio, and hey, what a great opportunity to get that partner in your life. Basically a complete package to sort out all the issues that could potentially pop up with you guys because of the lack of consistency down there. That package will sort you out and make sure that, he's smelling good, looking good, and also sorted for a long, long time. And you can get 20% off and free shipping right now if you guys use the code word submission now. Use that code word submission, change your life for better, or change your partner's life for better, thanks to Manscaped.
There you go. Now, Dennis, I don't really watch basketball. I don't really watch other sports, but you do. You tell me the NBA playoffs are going off. Is that right?
Dude, yeah, first round. This is the most exciting time to watch the NBA playoffs, Cass.
Oh, wow. Well, I know that you are watching the NBA playoffs with the NBA League Pass for super, super cheap. You didn't want to pay those pesky Australian prices, so you use NordVPN to switch your geolocation on your computer to Malaysia or Philippines or something, and you paid pennies on the dollar for your NBA League Pass subscription. You can do the same thing. If you want to save money on your subscriptions, don't pay for Australian Netflix. You make your computer think you're in Mexico with NordVPN, where the currency is cheaper, and then you get Mexican Netflix. And then once you turn off the, geolocation, bang, you got Australian Netflix anyway. Or you can switch and turn on your geolocation with NordVPN to, say, America, and then you get the American catalog or whatever you want. It works for flights as well. The same flights, same places, same destinations and everything. They cost different depending on where your computer thinks you are in the world. So if you switch it to a country with a lower currency, you save money. Also, NordVPN, no speed throttling and no buffering. So when you're using your NordVPN to block trackers and no one can, see what you're doing, or your internet service provider can't see what sort of spicy websites you're going on. The best of all, nothing slows down. It stays as at that sweet, sweet optimal crisp speed, so you can watch everything in 4K. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. And I know someone's listening out there going, hey, why would I pay for a VPN? I don't want to spend any money. Let me just see if I can find a free one. Let me just see if I can try and game the system. Listen, man, before you go, exactly. You and me have been there. We've been stung before. Listen, before you go there, try the best first. Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee is risk-free. They won't charge you a dime, a cent, $1, whatever it is. Try it today and see how it changes your life for the better. You pay nothing and you save everything. Right now, you guys can get a huge discount plus 4 months additional for free if you go to nordvpn.com/submission or click the link in the description below. Listen to us, one of the best apps in the game. This is completely different from what you'd find for free on the internet. It changes your life forever. Jump on and enjoy the NBA playoffs, Netflix, Hulu, whatever it is, BT Sport, whatever deals you want, flights, cheaper, everything, thanks to NordVPN and that code word submission, nordvpn.com/submission now. But Luke, you did that cool face-to-face thing with the Schmo where you sat down with Mike Perry. I just wonder, man, what did you learn about Mike seeing that face-to-face with him?
He's coming to fight. I already knew that. But I think Mike is, he thinks one thing, he's gonna find out another. I think he's thinking in the past, not the present.
And the audacity to wipe a booger on such a nice jacket.
It wasn't really. Hey man, let's just be real. He wasn't digging for gold.
I wonder, man, like, does this remind you in any way of your MMA debut? Like just doing all the studying and kind of like figuring out what you're going into. Is there any parallels to that feeling that you had years ago?
It's definitely new. It's new and it's different and it's fun to learn something and to walk into the unknown to some extent. You know, I enjoy it. That's why I'm doing it. Gotta keep turning the page. Can't let life get stale. People get too bored.
Do you feel like this is almost an opportunity to reinvent yourself? Because it's like we said at the top of the interview, you did everything in MMA, right? UFC champion, Strikeforce champion. And I almost feel like this is an opportunity for you to kind of show just other parts of your prowess in combat sports. Is that part of the driver for you as well?
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, I think the journey is continuing and it's only bettering itself. I'm better in so many ways, and so I'm excited to work on other aspects of my game. You know, I've been such a good grappler and a kicker, and you know, I've been able to rely on that. You know, I think my hands have grown so much, and there's still room to grow. As long as you take care of your shit, I'm still getting better, and that's what I'm doing. I'm taking care of my body, and I'm taking advantage of the time. Time is of the essence. You know, I'm not getting any younger. I want to continue and better myself and keep putting on a show.
What do you want to prove in this one, Luke? I feel like there's always something to prove. There's always something to show. What do you want to prove in this one?
There's always something to prove, you know. Just wait and see. Wait and see, man. Getting better. I'm getting better, and I got hands. And like I said, people like Mike think I can't box, and a lot of people think I don't have a chin. Guess what? I went out there and I showed that against Paulo Costa. I'm gonna show a little bit more this time. I'm gonna show a little more every fucking time I get out there, and just keep silencing motherfuckers.
Do you relish like that underdog mentality? I almost feel like when people count you out or when people say, oh, he can't do this or he can't do that, I feel like that is a huge driver that's pushed you kind of in almost your entire career. Do you almost steer into it?
I think that's for anybody who's got a fucking big pair of balls on him. Look what Izzy did. Everyone counting him out, everyone doing that, and he stepped forward and did his thing. You know, anybody who's a fucking real motherfucker is going to step forward and want to prove people wrong and use that as a driving force. Other people just sit back behind their channels and talk shit and make excuses and chitter chatter and hate on people. I'm just fucking sick of it, and I love spitting in those motherfuckers' faces. So, lock big loogies in all your haters' faces.
What did you think of that stunning KO that he was able to put on Alex Pereira, UFC 287?
It was picture fucking perfect. Good for him.
Crazy, right? But also like to be beaten by a guy for 3 times and in such fashion, and then to put such a statement. I don't know, man. Like, did you find that inspiring when you saw that happening?
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely. Izzy's been, I'm sure I inspired Izzy as he was younger, and he's inspiring me now. You draw inspiration through everybody. He was a fucking gangster.
It was super gangster. Out of curiosity, like I know the UFC sort of, I know you say the handcuffs are off and stuff like that, but how much of the outcome of that fight was going to dictate your future? Like if Alex had won and he was the champion, would that have in any way made you think, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll come back and try and get that title? Or you already knew at that fight, you're like, nah, I'm not going back.
No. I mean, who knows? I don't know if I'm going to go back or not. I don't know. I mean, if it's on my terms, I might still go back. You never know. But I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to keep fucking knocking people's heads off and let my legs heal up and improve my hands. And make some fucking money.
Yeah, there's some big fights out there, Luke. Like, I got to ask, like, what did you think when you finally saw Nate Diaz is going to be boxing Jake Paul? What did you think when you first saw that, that this fight's actually going to happen?
Good for him. I think it's a good time.
It's a big payday. I think people are happy because they see the payday. How do you think the fight goes? I think Jake's surprised a lot of people with how far he's come.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know until you see it happen. But I think Jake's a little blind in there. He kind of sees red. Maybe he grows more and more, but he doesn't know how to adjust. He doesn't really know how to fight yet. Nate's a smaller guy, and he might feel more comfortable, and it's a different realm for both of them. So interesting. We'll see what's up, guys. But I gotta get to lunch. It's diet time. Perillo just arrived, and we got to get to a good feed.
Yeah, man. Our boy Perillo. Hey, just quickly before we wrap up, I got to ask, things go to plan against Mike. And this is a 2-parter question. Do you have a name, a dream fight that you'd like to have in boxing before it's all said and done for you in boxing? And number 2, how do you see this fight with Mike playing out when you guys get in there?
No names, no dreams. Just Mike Perry. I see myself putting, let's see if he can take the punishment. Mike's a tough kid. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to put him down. He's going to hit the floor. Let's see how many times he can get back up and get in my face, but I think I finish him.
Can't wait, man. April 29th, 30th here in Australia, New Zealand. Thanks for the time, Luke. Say hi to Perillo for us and enjoy the lunch, man. Subscribe to the man's Onlyfans.
Cheers, mate.